So I have practiced the last couple of weeks a ribbon pour, and I wanted to do a big long ribbon for one of my friends slash family, and I decided that now was the time to do it. I've got the information that I need. I did do a test last week that I have a video about. I'll post it in below and a link above. But essentially I use glue as my pouring medium, and I didn't like that. So I've moved to Floetrol. And what I've done is I've selected this awesome color palette. This actually comes from the color cubes that I got from Sarah Renee Clark. It's just a cube, has a ton of different color palettes here. I tried the coolers.com that I use sometimes also, but my daughter and I went through these and we decided we liked this color palette. I'll link the link to the color cubes if you want them. I'm not good at finding my own colors, so I like to take inspiration from other places, and this one was really jumping out to me. So what we're going to do is we're going to do the auburn, which is going to be this color for us, as the base, and then the rest of these colors, although my blue is a little bit deeper, not a lot, but a little bit deeper, as our ribbon for this pour. And so the first thing I need to do is to paint corners. Right, so now that I've done that, this is a 16 by 40 inch canvas. So I went to my paint pouring calculator on my website, and that needs about 32 ounces of paint. It's also a gallery wrap, so it's got the 1.5 inch sides. So 32 ounces of paint. Generally with something like this where I'm not covering everything with color, I use about 60% for the base, and the rest is going to be the colors. So I have 20-ish ounces of paint that I've made up here. We're going to use most of it, but I do want to use some of it for my pour, so I don't use all of it. And you always want to keep, especially for a big pour like this, I want to keep a little bit left over for any touch-ups that I have to do. I'm just going to spread this all around. This is just a little card that I got with my Lolly Beefy silicone mats. Once I have this kind of where I want it, and last but not least, just to make sure we clear out all the super thick areas. I don't want a ton of paint in the middle because we're going to put a ton of paint with my ribbon pour. So I just want to make sure I get a lot of that stuff off. Yeah, right in the middle there was a bunch of paint. Joy of working with huge canvases. See a little bit of dead area right here. And all I'm doing is looking at the reflection to see if I can see any of the canvas through the reflection, which means there's not quite as much paint there as in other places. So I used 60% of the paint, 32 ounces, so I used about 20 ounces on this, maybe a little bit less because I left some over. Now I want to use my colors. Just for your reference, everybody always asks me, so for the main color, I used 2/3 of the burnt sienna and then 1/3 of the red, this red from, or brilliant red from Montmartre to make this kind of rust red. For the blue, I use mostly the Lucas Krill and a little bit of the golden turquoise. For the tangerine, I use mostly yellow ochre with a little bit of pyrrole orange from Blick, and this is kind of a liquidy paint, and this is just a regular. Black is just a generic Artist Loft black, and this is pearlized golden green. My wife brought this home. That was on sale at Hobby Lobby, so I'm excited to see how that works. Okay, I made about 3 ounces of each of these. Half that, 1.5 ounces of the black, because I don't want the black to take over. So we're just gonna, what do I want to come out last? I think I want this to come out last. And last time I did a couple of little layers at the bottom and then some bigger layers, and that feels like it has thickened up. I don't know if that ever happens to you guys, but sometimes even, 15-20 minutes and the paint really gets much thicker than it was before. And you don't want the paints to be too different consistencies. And so what I'm going to do is I'm doing this sturdy pour cup, and then I'm just going to do lacing, and that feels a little thick too. Do some lacing straight in the middle, not covering everything, so I have a lot of negative space of the red. Got a little piece of hard paint in there. Nobody wants that. Alright, so I want little thin strips. Actually, let me do this. I'm going to mark a popsicle length on both sides, just so I have a guide while I'm doing this. Want a lot of this red in here, so let's see if I can't cover some of it up. All right. So here is the close-up. We're just going to go straight into the colors. I actually really love how the colors go. I'm glad I did a couple of the little ones back and forth. Gives a little bit of interest in some places here. And with the gold green being metallic, it's really going to jump out when that happens. But overall, I'm loving how this looks. I'm hoping that it dries beautiful, and I will put that in the community post once it does. So, if this is something you're looking to do, here are some of the experiments that I've done with ribbon and ribbon-like pours.